Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Dee, and I'm also joined by a special guest who you might be seeing throughout this video, who's peeking his head back there. But anyway, I'm so excited to be filming a book haul for you guys. I feel like I haven't bought books in a long time. I think the last book haul I showed you guys, it was like a birthday book haul, and it was because a lot of them were books that people gave me, but it's been a while since I've done a little book shopping spree for myself because books are expensive. But Book Outlet was having a sale for Yes, their sale was $79 per book. $7.99 per book, which is amazing because books are like usually like $20, $25. So I thought that was a perfect opportunity to treat my shelf to some books. Plus, I will be adding like a new bookshelf to a room in my house that I may or may not be turning into a little office / reading corner. Also, it is so hot, so like I look very oily. Let's ignore that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. This feels like Christmas. Okay, their packaging definitely wasn't very smart because this mini box on top has a singular book in it. One book in this box. Like, that other box better be filled to the brim if they couldn't squeeze this one book inside that box and save so much material for packaging. Like, this is unnecessary. Okay, well, I'll just start with this one because it's the first book. And since you're already up there, can you close my window, please? Okay, let's see the next book. Oh, it's like thunderstorming. I hear thunder. Great! Okay, this next one, The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hilderbrand, is, I'm pretty sure, a mystery thriller. If I had to go by cover alone, I'd say it's also a summer book. I don't know where Nantucket is, but it looks like it could be some sort of like beach town. All I know is like the main character is, or just went through a bad breakup with a longtime boyfriend and decides to come to Nantucket and becomes the new general manager for the Hotel Nantucket, and she kind of tries to save its reputation because it has a bad reputation since like years in the past when there was a fire that killed a 19-year-old chambermaid, and apparently that the ghost of that girl haunts the hotel and the staff has like dark secrets from the past, and like there's something about the hotel that isn't right. That's the vibe I'm getting. So I guess we're gonna follow along the main character, as she tries to revamp the hotel as well as revamp her life and see if these odd things from the past and about the hotel threaten to ruin all of that. This is a book that I wouldn't know a lot about going into, but that's kind of exciting. So I'm excited to read this, and I think I'll read it this summer because it seems like a very summer book, like I said. This is so exciting. Like, I love, there's just so many books. Okay, I have to show these two books together. We've got Killjoy and 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I have so much love for Holly Jackson and her popular series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is my favorite series of all time. Besides the OG MG middle grade series, like the Heroes of Olympus, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, those aside, okay? Because I love those. But I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I devoured Good Girl, Bad Blood, the sequel to that. Those were amazing. As Good as Dead, I have to reread. I DNF'd it because it was a lot darker than the first two, and I don't do books like that with it, like realistic things that happen that are dark. So that one wasn't for me. But the two, I loved the first two so much that I'm like, top series for me. But yeah, that's why I was like, sign me up for more books by her. This one, Killjoy, is the prequel, I believe. Yeah, the prequel to the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So it has the same main character, Pip, from that series, and I absolutely adored Pip. That's why characters, I feel like, are so important to a story, because Pip was part of the reason I loved the book so much. Like, the plot alone was so amazing, but I loved the character so much. She was just an all-around amazing character. So I'm excited to be in her head again in this book, Killjoy. This one's a novella, so it's like, I'm really trying not to spoil. Why did I do that? I'm like, I was gonna say, yo, this has no page numbers, but I think that was just like it was like a little excerpt from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder that takes up so many pages in this. What the heck? Anyway, this is like 117 pages. So yes, novella. I don't know if I've ever even read a novella. I'm gonna be so honest, like maybe years ago, but not recently. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. This is, like I said, a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So this takes place at Pip's like friend group's murder mystery party, and it's her solving a fictional murder and figuring out who done it. But then it says that there's another case on her mind as well. So I'm guessing maybe there might be something real involved in this as well. All I need to know is that it's Pip solving another mystery. And I feel like this is the type of book I could sit down and just finish in one sitting, because that's how the other books were. So I'm really, really excited to read this. Yay! This is Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This is its own standalone, so it's not tied to that series, but it sounds so good. These 6 friends are on a road trip, and like the title says, only 5 survive. I'm so intrigued to know how it happens, why it happens. Was it someone in the car? This will be so entertaining. I can already tell, and I can't wait to read it. And also the hardcover, I hope you guys can see that it has like a little 5 tally marks. I love little details like that on books. If I'm ever in a reading slump, I know that these will be the books that I gravitate towards, like this one and that one, because I already know how much I love Holly Jackson's writing style. I'm really excited to read this. Oh my gosh, okay, next we have Finley Donovan is Killing It. I haven't heard anyone talk about this book in a while, but I recently had a friend read it and say they found it so funny, and I love reading books that my friends recommend, so I was really excited to get it, and it was already on my TBR as well. Plus, the main character is a novelist, which is all I need to know. I will read any book. Okay, that's actually debatable, but I love when main characters are in the publishing industry or the writing industry. I just eat them up. I eat it up. This sounds so good. Let me read just this one part to convince you, okay? When Finley is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent over lunch, she's mistaken for a contract killer and inadvertently accepts an offer to dispose of a problem husband. Finley soon discovers that crime in real life is a lot more difficult than its fictional counterpart as she becomes tangled in a murder investigation. Like, doesn't that sound so good? Stop. Like, this sounds like the perfect movie plot. You know what I mean? I feel like this will feel like a movie in my head. Finley sounds like she's gonna be hilarious. It just sounds perfect. Perfect. And I can't wait to read it. My little happy book dance. I love getting new books. I just love it. Okay, next up, because you could probably see that the whole time, is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This one I'm so excited to read. I heard great things about it, and it reminds me of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder in a way. So I'm like, bonus points for that. The main character goes to a school, famous private school called, what does it say? Ellingham Academy. And Ellingham's wife and daughter were kidnapped, and the only clue was a riddle with the pseudonym Truly Devious. And their disappearance has become one of the most famous, unsolved cases in history. And then our main character, Stevie Bell, goes to school many years later, and she's determined to solve this case. And then something happens. Truly Devious makes a reappearance, and there's another murder. This just sounds so good. I love mystery thrillers so much when they're not too dark. Hopefully none of these are. If any of you have read any of these, please let me know. But this sounds really good. I feel like I'm getting so many fall related books in the summer, because I don't read books like this usually in the summer. They're such cozy fall reads. It's like the perfect opportunity, but we'll see if I get around to this summer. It just sounds so good. Next, my face. Anytime I read the words Ali Hazelwood. I just love her so much. I love her book so much. I loved The Love Hypothesis. I loved Love Theoretically. And I got 2 other books from her, so I'm so excited to read them. But I had to get Loath to Love You when I saw that it was included in the sale, because this is a collection of short stories, and I've never read any short stories by her. I think these are her only published short stories, I believe. Oh, novellas. Sorry, they're novellas. But all I need to see on a cover is Ali Hazelwood, and I will be reading the book. That's it. And I eat her romances up every single time. And they're also such fun, lighthearted reads, and sometimes that's just the perfect thing that you need. There's Under One Roof, which sounds like it's gonna be a close proximity / forced proximity enemies to lovers novel, because she's stuck with a roommate from hell. We know she's gonna end up liking him. Stuck with You, again, forced proximity. A civil engineer and her nemesis take their rivalry and love to the next level. When they get to the next level, get it? Because they get stuck in an elevator. That's so funny. And then Below Zero, a NASA aerospace engineer's frozen heart melts as she lies injured and stranded at a remote Arctic research station, and the only person willing to undertake the dangerous rescue mission is her longtime rival. So all enemy to lovers, you know what? Ali, never stop doing that, because you are amazing at writing those. And I eat them up every single time. It's my favorite trope. She does it so well. And we love women in STEM, so this is gonna be so fun to read. Ooh, okay, next. Why put stickers on books? I get it, but why not easy to peel stickers? You know what I mean? Fine, put them on, but just make them easy to peel. Anyway, the next one is The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. I actually don't know much about this one. I think while I was buying these books, I saw it and I was intrigued, but I didn't add it to my cart. And then I saw TikTok about someone literally talking about how much they loved this book. And I was like, that's a sign to read this book. There could not be a more obvious sign. So I decided to add it to my cart, because that's what I do when I'm book shopping or buying clothes or anything online. I will like add them to my cart and then kind of just like give it some time, like sleep on it or give it a couple hours and then come back to the cart to see if there's anything where I'm like, okay, I don't actually really need that, and like take it out. That's just something I do sometimes. Anyway, I think I heard that this is really sad. I don't know. I hope not. I hope it's not like a sad. Oh, this sounds really sweet. It sounds like it'll be dual timeline, or at least touch on two timelines. One being 1996, when the main character gets sent away to this remote village away from her friends and family and meets a young boy there who teaches her what there is to love about this beach town. And then it jumps to 2019 when she's older and gets a sobering medical diagnosis and gets increasingly closer to her assistant and tells him the story about, I think, the time she fell in love with this boy. At least that's what it says on the back. That's my best summary for it. It sounds very whimsical and cute, and I've never read anything from Nicholas Sparks, and I love reading things from new authors. Oh, that new book smell. Okay, we have another thriller here. We have One of Us is Back by Karen M. McManus. This is the third installment in the One of Us is Lying series, which I'm sure a lot of you know. It's a really popular mystery thriller. That book is also one of the books that got me out of a long reading slump. I think I read that one in a couple first and then The Good Girls Guide to Murder and stuff. I loved One of Us is Lying so much, and then One of Us is Next, the sequel. Loved it. They were so good. I love Karen M. McManus's writing style, and I love her characters. It's been a while since I read the other two books, so I'm hoping I remember enough of it to jump into this third book, which I think is a continuation. The first book followed 4 that they were characters that they referred to as the baby 4, and then the next book we got 4 new characters. I believe it was 4, I don't remember, that were like a part of the same town, part of like the same connecting web of characters, so it didn't feel like completely new people, and it still continued the storyline from the first one, which was really nice. And this one seems to do the exact same. A member of the Bayview crew disappears, and now everyone, all from the first 2 books, are a target, all of the POVs, so everyone from the Bayview crew. So I guess it's gonna be them trying to solve that and what's going on, what's happening. I love the plot twists at the end of her books, so I'm very excited to read this. Okay. Okay. The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I've had this on my TBR for a while, but never really felt the urge to want to read it enough to buy it until I read The 7-Year Slip, also by Ashley Poston, and I absolutely loved it and decided that I need to read The Dead Romantics now because I love the way Ashley Poston writes. In this one, the main character, I'm pretty sure, literally falls in love with a ghost, which is like, okay. I really wonder how that's gonna go. I think that's just her thing, Ashley Poston, of just writing like magical realism novels, because in The 7-Year Slip, there was also that little bit of magical realism sprinkled in. But yeah, the reason I super wanted to read this is because it also deals with a main character who's grieving, just like her other novel did, and I want to read more novels like that. So, and the main character is also a romance author, ghostwriter. So again, bonus points for that. But yeah, I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued about how you fall in love with a ghost. Like, can she even touch him? Feel like, I don't know anything about what's gonna happen, but I have so many questions. And by reading this, hopefully I get a lot of answers. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this one. This is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. She wrote Better Than the Movies, which is one of my all-time favorite romance novels. It's so cute. It literally feels like a 90s heart-wrenching rom-com. And it's easily one of my 5-star reads. So I want to read more from Lynn Painter, obviously. And I've heard great things about this one. It's called The Do-Over. Oh my gosh, this is the prettiest book ever. Guys, my 2 favorite colors, yellow and light pink. Okay, this isn't light pink, and this is not the right shade of yellow, but those are my favorite colors. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. I actually kind of hate when books are this pretty on the inside, because it's like, obviously when I read it, I take off the sleeve. That's not obvious. Some people don't do that. But when I shelve the books, I can't shelve them like this, because that just ruins the aesthetic of having all the other ones with sleeves. So it's like, what a waste. Its prettiness will not be seen while it's shelved, but that's okay. This is also gorgeous. It's one of those time loop novels, and I'm not the biggest fan of that trope, like reliving the same day over and over again. And the day she's reliving over and over again is Valentine's Day, when her boyfriend cheats on her, and so she has to relive that over and over and over. But she can't stop bumping into Nick, this guy named Nick, who she keeps bumping into in unfortunate ways. And I already know this is going to be really cute. I think it's another YA novel, and if it's anything like Better Than the Movies, I know I will absolutely love this. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this one. Am I saying this before every book? I mean, I am excited for all all of them. This is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. First of all, just a moment of appreciation for the cover. She is absolutely stunning, this cover. I've heard so many great things about Kennedy Ryan herself, and I have yet to read a novel of hers, so I really wanted to read Before I Let Go. It's about a couple whose love couldn't save their marriage, but now they're starting to get into the groove of co-parenting their kid and finding happiness again, but they can't stop being drawn back to each other like magnets, and one kiss leads to another, and wounds start to reopen. So I think it's about them deciding if it's finally time to move on or to see if maybe the second time better is around. It sounds like it's going to be a second chance romance, which I'm usually not a fan of, because I'm like, if they ended it once, why would we root for them to get back together? But Emily Henry proved me wrong with Happy Place. That was a really good second chance romance, and I loved it. So very excited to read this. Ooh, okay, the next one is The Writing Retreat by Julia Barnes. I'm excited to read this one. I remember adding this one on my TBR a while ago, actually. It sounds so good. First of all, I want to go on a writing retreat so badly, but not this one. Not this one. In this one, the main character is feeling a little hopeless in her writing career. Sorry, I need to stretch my arm. Oh my gosh, I feel so... Anyway, and gets invited to this month-long writing retreat at this feminist horror writer Rosa's estate. And when she's there, it's announced that there's going to be a competition that everyone has to write a book from scratch, and the best one will win a 7-figure publishing deal. Like, that's insane. That's crazy. But while they're there, one of them goes missing in a snowstorm, and they realize things are more sinister than they appear. We love a good mystery thriller, and not only that, it's centered around a writing retreat. Are you kidding me? This sounds amazing. It looks like the perfect like winter cozy read, but I don't know if I can hold out until winter for reading this. We'll see. I also got Hello Strangers by Catherine Center. I'm so excited to read this. I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center and ate that book up. It was a 5-star read for me. It felt so much like a movie, that book. Like, I also listened to an audiobook, but I felt like I was watching a rom-com movie when I was reading it. It was so humorous and a little cheesy, but in the best way, and just an easy 5-star. It was just amazing. I loved that book so much. So I was like, I need to read Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I believe Haley Pham read this and rated it a 5-star, and I feel like we have very similar book taste, so more so the reason for me to pick up this book. The main character in this was a portraitist, but then unfortunately gets diagnosed with face blindness, which means that every face she sees is like a jumbled blur. And during this time, she falls in love with not one, but 2 men. Very different men. So I don't know what's gonna go on there. I hope it's not a love triangle. I do not like love triangles. I despise them with a passion, unless it's done right, which is like you have 2 options for love interest and then you clearly take one out by them doing something horrible or something like that. But when you're like rooting for 2 and then it just like they choose one and it's like the one you don't want, it just bothers me so much. So hopefully this isn't a love triangle. I don't really know what this is about, if it's more so about her dealing with this new reality of having face blindness or exploring these relationships that she's forming with these men. But either way, I'm excited to read it. Okay, this is The Brothers Hawthorne, such a gorgeous cover, by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who wrote the Inheritance Game series. Oh, I just said that A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is like my favorite series. I loved the Inheritance Game series so much as well. Like, that was so good. Equally as good. I just love a good book that has you hooked and flipping pages like it's nothing. Like, that's how I love to feel when I'm sitting down to read. That's what the Inheritance Game series gives me. It follows a girl, Avery, who gets inherited an entire like estate by this man and tries to figure out why, because he didn't give it to any of his kids or grandkids and is giving it to this stranger. And so she sets off to like figure out why with the help of the grandsons, and it's just filled with puzzles and riddles, and it's just so fun. Now, I don't know if this is the 4th installment of that series or if it's like a spin-off. This is The Brothers Hawthorne, so this follows the grandsons, Jameson, Grayson. Does Xavier not get a point of view in this? That's so sad. I liked him. He was so funny. Yeah, so this one follows those 2 brothers. Okay, I think in my mind, I thought this was the 4th book. Like, at the end of the 3rd book that I read, there was a little teaser for what the next book would be, and it sounded so good. I think I thought that's what this was, but it's not this. But I'm still excited to read this because it follows the grandsons on their own little adventures, and I think Avery is still in this too, so that's exciting. Excited excited to add this to the collection. And next we have The Long Game by Elena Armas. I read The Spanish Love Deception by her and I really liked that book. And then now I'm reading The American Roommate Experiment and I love it even more. I just love her writing style. It's so witty and lighthearted and refreshing. And so I've never heard much about this book, but I'm craving more from her because I really am enjoying The American Roommate Experiment. And I read to escape, and this is like the perfect, like her books are like the perfect escapist novels to me. They're just so refreshing. In this one, Adeline Reyes has spent years perfecting her daily routine: wake up at dawn, drive to the Miami Flames FC offices, try her hardest, go home and repeat. But her routine is disrupted when a video of her having an altercation with the team's mascot goes viral. Rather than fire her, the team's owner, who happens to be her father, sends Adeline to middle of nowhere North Carolina, where she's tasked with turning around the struggling local soccer team. Her plans crumble upon discovering that the players wear tutus to practice, impractical, keep pet goats, messy, and are terrified of Adeline, counterproductive. They're also 9-year-old girls. To make things worse, also in town is Cameron Caldani, recently retired professional goalkeeper whose presence is something of a mystery. Cam is the perfect candidate to help Adeline, except that after one very unfortunate first encounter involving a rooster, Cam's leg, and Adeline's car bumper, he's set on running her out of town. But helping this ragtag children's team is Adeline's road to redemption, and she's playing the long game with or without Cam's help. That sounds so funny. I mean, it sounds so good. Next is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I've heard a lot of people talk about this one really recently and giving it high praise, so I'm excited to read this. And it's a summer book, so perfect timing. The tagline is 6 summers to fall in love, 1 moment to fall apart, a weekend to get it right. And also I love that the main character's name is Percy. That's just such a cool name for a girl, I feel like. I love unique names. And it's giving friends to lovers second chance romance because for 6 summers she's had 6, yep, that's 6, an undeniable connection with Sam, and then their friendship turned into something more, but then came crashing apart. And she has not gone back to that lakeshore since, but her mother passes away, so she returns and Sam's there, and they realize that their chemistry is just as undeniable as it's always been. So yeah, definitely second chance, and a very summery setting. So this will be like the perfect little like beach read or camping or anything like that. So I'm very excited to add this to my collection. Okay, last but not least, we have Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Y'all, I'm so excited to read this. Not only because it's Ali Hazelwood, but also because I've been trying to get into chess recently. I've been playing with my boyfriend and he's been beating me every time. It's actually so embarrassing. Like every game I'm like, this is the one, this is the one. No, he beats me in like 2 moves. Like it doesn't matter how long, like he will just win every single time. And I find chess so fun. Like I love it so much and I want to get better at it. This isn't a chess tutorial book. That has like nothing to do with it, but it centers around chess and that's just so exciting to me. I think this is Ali Hazelwood's first YA novel, I believe. So this one's like a closed door book and I'm very excited about that. I love YA novels. Mallory decides she's done with chess because the sport led to the destruction of her family years earlier, but decides to play at one last tournament where she meets Nolan, who's the reigning champion of chess. And not a spoiler because it says it on the back, he loses to her, shocking everyone. And he wants to cross paths with her again. And while she should say no, this sport did tear apart her family. She doesn't. And from there, it's her trying to find a balance of continuing to move up in the ranks, but keep this away from her family and what tore them apart in the first place. I already know I'm gonna love all of the chess content in this. I'm gonna eat it up so much. And like I said before, I love Ali Hazelwood. She knows how to write a really good romance. So I'm very excited to read this. Those are all the books, you guys. I'm so sad, but also I'm so happy and I'm so grateful and blessed for all of these new books. I'm adopting them. They now have a home with me and I'm excited for literally every single one of them. As always, if you guys have thoughts on any of these books, please let me know without spoilers. Please, without spoilers. Please let me know your thoughts. You can always keep up to date with what I'm reading on my Goodreads. I love being friends with you guys on there. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see my face again. And don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so you're notified the next time I upload. And I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!